We forgot to record an intro because we were so excited to talk to Curious Grace and Black Rabbit. So here's the intro.
Here's our intro. No video.
No video.
Guys, but it's a great interview, and they're just so fun and lovely to talk to. They had some really great answers for the Sense of this game.
They did.
So this is one of my personal favorites in my opinion. I'll say it. I'll come out and say it.
There you go.
So yeah, you're in for a treat, guys.
You are. Sit back, relax, and listen to the episode.
Take off your coat, stay a while.
All right. Woo! Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl. It's the boys. All sorts of things are happening on the show today.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, it'll be a good time.
If you like what you hear,
Are you ready?
you can find us on Underbelly Hours,
All sorts of
on all the socials, where you get your favorite local takes on the local greats.
Here it comes. Ready? Sing it with us. So, did you guys paint that? Did you guys have that rabbit specifically for Curious Grace and the Black Rabbit, or has that always been on your wall? Just
No, that was a hard find actually. That's right off of the internet. I don't even know where I got that. I don't know where I got that, but it was this giant tapestries, and one was a forest, and then one was a rabbit I was able to find. And there's lots of rabbits out there, but they're really small. This was the largest rabbit I could find on the internet.
nice.
And this is where I stand for rehearsal, where we set these chairs up. So
We're in a space.
yeah, well, this is what I see every Sunday.
Nice. Very cool.
He says you guys are the fourth Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Oh yeah, Dan Adela's.
You're Dan Adela.
Dan
Adela.
Adela.
Yeah, like Donatello.
Hi! Yay!
We're the fifth Teenage Mutant Ninja
Love
Thank
it.
you, Dan.
Dan Adela.
Damn, I like that.
What's our weapon?
Oof.
Sound.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be like one of those boomboxes.
Yeah,
you
like
carry
a
on your
giant
shoulder.
ass boombox.
Yeah.
What do we?
We sling vinyl too. We have like
Oh, yeah.
45s and all sorts.
Right. Instead of ninja, it's like Shaun of the Dead. We're just.
Actually, that's awesome. You take that and run with it. Go with a
We're
whole.
doing it. Yeah, this is our new superhero
Dude,
moniker.
we need to get up Katie again and just.
Yes. We have an animator that could probably hook us up with this idea.
That'd be fun.
Are you carrying the boombox and I got the vinyls, or?
Yeah, that's.
I guess
So
I
you
got.
got a two-headed giant.
I'll have a better throwing. arm.
Two head, like one person. We have like two heads.
Oh, okay. What are we booming?
I don't know.
What's on the boombox?
I feel like we should probably figure this out.
Grandmaster Flash.
Grandmaster Flash. Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm down.
Every time I see a boombox, I just feel like
Or
we gotta
Wu-Tang.
go to the 80s
Wu-Tang
rap.
too.
Oh, Wu-Tang.
I like Wu-Tang.
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
And now on to the main portion of today's episode, which is an interview with the one and only fantastic, bombastic, and creative band Curious Grace and the Black Rabbit. And just Black Rabbit. There's no the in that title. Curious Grace and Black Rabbit, welcome to the show. How are you guys doing this fantastic afternoon?
We are great, and we're especially great because you called us bombastic. I love
you.
that.
I-
We are. Bombastic describes what we're after perfectly.
I thought about that because, you guys are very explosive energy-wise. You are, you put a lot of time and energy into everything you do, story-wise with your music, but also on stage. It's so fun to watch you guys perform. I had the pleasure of seeing you guys for the first time, really, this past homegrown, and it was blown away. After I saw you guys perform, I was talking to Dan, I'm like, we have to have these guys on the show. Fantastic stuff.
It was one of the highlights, in my
Yes.
opinion.
Mm-hmm.
In my humble, non-biased opinion, I think it was one of the highlights of that
Love
stage.
that. We're always happy to hear, one of the things that we hear really often from people who see us for the first time is that they're impressed with the energy of the show, like the dynamics, the energy of us overall as a band, and then the interactions between us on stage. You know, we've got some stellar performers, and it's a lot of fun, and we hear that people enjoy that fun that we deliver.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the live show. You gotta bring the energy. That's what people want. I mean, I can't. There's so many bands that you go see them and they're just kind of standing there, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll eat my burger now and just listen to it in the background.
We all really like each other too, and it really helps, and it comes through. And a lot of people have said that for the couple of years that I've been around with this band, that they could tell that we all are friends.
Oh yeah,
and all really get along.
Yeah, and having, you know, we've all been in other various bands throughout the years. Mary and I we're married, and we've been in quite a few bands together and separately. But the one thing that we really enjoy doing with this band is everybody knows their stuff, so we really have a lot of fun together, and we have fun. We have fun rehearsing. We have fun when we're on stage, and it's really a privilege to play with this band. Everybody in this band is really talented, and they bring everything every time. So it's always a really good performance. So
yeah, and that really comes through the music as well, because it's such like it's almost like prog rock almost.
Yeah.
It has influences of that. Like you guys definitely know music. You know how to write some really cool stuff, and that kind of knowledge and confidence, I think, is what brings energy on stage, is because you're not like having to second guess or doubt yourself. Like, you guys are so confident in your knowledge with music that it's just like, yeah, let's go up there and
have a good time.
Show the goods. Let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's how we feel, really. Yeah, when we're on stage. And, you know, we're fronted by two gorgeous women, Mary being one of them. And it's always fun, because most of the bands I've been in were mostly all male and, hard rock bands. And our image was different. How we presented ourselves was different. You know, playing behind two lovely women that really know how to take the stage and run with it, it's really fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's wonderful. You know, it's different. You know, coming from where I've come from, and I really enjoy what we're capable of doing, having two females fronting the band.
So, and I gotta say, Adela, like, I am so happy that you are a leading force in this podcast and in music, because women in rock, I just personally find it really kind of a bummer that you go through these lists of like the greatest rock singers of all time, and usually it'll be a few female names pop up, but there are some really killer women rockers who just don't get the visibility and cred that they deserve. And I think the more that you can see women taking a stage and doing more than pop, doing more than country, I just think it's a really incredible thing.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that, and it's so nice to see you guys as well. Like, also, we have to get into at some point. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Before we get into,
I'm just here for jokes.
No, we're the dynamic Adela duo.
Coming to a mutant turtle near you.
That's exactly right. Okay, but before we get too much into, because I do have a lot of questions. We have a lot of questions about your band and a couple other fun things planned here. But we gotta, because it's your first time on the show, we gotta do a little icebreaker game. We have to break it to our audience a little bit, and the way that we love to do this is, of course, with our lovely synthesis game.
Yes.
Wherein you will be asked 3 questions. These 3 questions will come...
A 2, a 3.
Exactly like that. They will be coming from approaching your music from a non-musical perspective. You'll see what we mean in a couple of minutes. And after you answer all 3 questions, we will play the first song of the episode for our listeners. So, without further ado, are you ready to begin?
What do we get ourselves into here?
We're ready. We're
No,
ready.
you guys will be fantastic with
Yeah.
this. I promise. All right.
Okay.
So first of all,
This is usually the game that we use to get the more like serious, brooding artists to just kind of let loose and open up. So
yeah,
you guys will do just fine.
I think you will.
Adela,
All right.
would you like to lead the charge?
I would like to lead the charge, yes. And I'm going to start with this question. So, Curious Grace and Black Rabbit, you guys use a lot of different... You guys are very like a storytelling based band in your music, at least, especially with your album. There's a lot of different characters that pop in and out.
Concept album.
It's kind of the concept album. So my question to you is, if your music could be paired with any character in literature, which music, like a theme song for a certain character, which character do you think you would choose and why?
That's a hard question. And I'm thinking, okay, so if you go to World on Fire, the concept album, he is the mastermind of that album.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of in literature, if any single character.
Or like it could be a series if you want. If you want to imagine with a series or like a world, where do you think Curious Grace music, like I'm opening up a book and I put on a Curious Grace vinyl, what book am I opening up? You know?
I think with World on Fire, I would have to go to almost like a Dickens kind of storyline, either A Tale of Two Cities or going into like the undertrodden is out there, and there's this struggle from kind of a working man's struggle all the way up, like trying to not only survive but trying to succeed, and the other characters, that the oppressive characters, I think would be the most that stand out. They're like the fat cats, one of the, I think through.
Or I've got a character too, Lady Gregory from Ireland. The Ireland connection, and the character who is in the thick of life and in the thick of challenging the system and taking arts and culture to say, we can do something more with this. The world can change, and we're going to dive in and make it happen.
I like that.
Yeah, that was good. That's good. Let's go with that one. Lady Gregory.
Lady Gregory.
Okay. Answer to question number 1 is Lady Gregory. Passing it on to you.
And I wasn't around for the writing of the first album at all. I wasn't part of the project.
Okay.
So
He's going to take a pass on that one.
yeah, I just did it.
That's all good.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's actually what I was brought into the band when that album was finished, and after one get together, they asked me what I thought and gave me the CD, and I spent a week and I listened to the whole thing, and I came back a week later and said, I'm really not sure where you're going with all of this, but I'm in.
Fair enough.
all
right, question number 2.
Yes. Before I ask, because I have a couple questions in mind, what time period was Lady Gregory?
So she would have been, what, the early 1800s?
Late 1800s.
Late 1800s, sorry. I should have known that, right?
Turn of the 20th century, so she would have been like just before 1920.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh, true, because she would have been around during the Easter Uprising time.
She was like a patriarch creates, and matriarch creates, and who else was in there? Like she knew
Sing,
yeah, and Scott, I think was still there, but the time period would have been the end of the 1800s,
early 1900s.
early 1900s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for testing us.
No, that's. I thought it was earlier, so I was added another stupid question. But
one of the places she lived was a place called Cool House, and you can't beat that. That's
Cool.
The house of Cool or Cool House.
That's pretty dope.
Okay, I think I'm gonna base my question off of that.
Okay.
If your music was a style of architecture,
Oh my god.
what type of what type of building are we listening to this record in?
Oh, I know.
Oh, she got it.
See, it wasn't that
The
hard.
Spanish architect,
Body.
Gaudi.
All right.
Oh yeah, okay.
Nice.
Gaudi.
Yes. See,
Kind of
these are learned folk.
surrealistic, a little Salvador Dali meets
Yes.
modern architecture,
So,
whimsical, colorful, progressive, all of it.
Gaudi. All right. Dang. Boom. All right. That wasn't even like hard for these guys.
Yeah.
That was it. Question.
Anyone
number
else, I
two.
would have been like, what?
What the fuck?
How do I answer that?
All right.
Yeah. So for the listening audience, you can tell they did not warn us about these questions in advance.
Nope.
No, we never
We
do.
never do. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's more fun that way, I think.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and then final question for this little warm up. Question number 3. Let's make it a little bit easier, hopefully. We're going to go into the world of warm drinks because it's getting cold out there, cold outside, you know. So if Curious Drace could be paired with any sort of warm beverage, this could be non-alcoholic or alcoholic. Which warm beverage
My vote
would
is
you...
alcoholic.
Which warm... Hold up, Dan. Don't influence the decision.
Sorry.
Which warm beverage would you pair with a Curious Grace song, and why?
We're going to defer to Hollywood because he's a brewmeister. So
That's true. Yeah, John, you should have this one. Is there any,
Well,
any warm beers that you make?
yeah, everything that Heidi approves of.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So
our other singer.
I do a heavy, like 10 to 12% stout certain times a year.
Stout. Yes.
I love
Sometimes
stouts.
with cookies or marshmallow, or I do a porter with pecans that everyone is crazy
Oh
about.
my gosh.
Because we usually have homebrew here every rehearsal, and it's not a heavy drinking band. Myself and our keyboard player Boyan, we really enjoy our beer. Everyone else I'll have a glass here and there, but whenever I get complimented, I have to say it's the stouts and porters, thanks to Heidi and Mary.
Nice.
So we're all in with that answer.
I agree.
Okay.
I love stouts myself.
Yeah, we're big stout fans over here, so.
Do you sell these beers anywhere? I mean,
Oh, I can give them to you.
yeah, even better.
Right, you just come over.
Can't you come over from
Yeah.
a rehearsal?
Drop
come
by
to
your
a
rehearsal.
on a Sunday. Well, we have
Yeah.
plenty of beer here.
We'll do a live
Live from
Underbelly
the
hours.
Curious Grace rehearsal.
And we
You
have
taste
right
it?
behind us, we're staring at it, we have a full bar in our rehearsal space.
That's
See,
so
these
cool.
So
are the
far,
goals
we've got
that
a
I
porcelain-clad grand piano.
Damn.
It's place has been decked out by the man with the vision.
It's the best practice space I've ever been in.
Yeah, sounds like
Sounds
a dream
like it.
rehearsal space.
All right.
That's my life goal right there.
Everybody can play music.
All right. So to wrap up the little icebreaker game, we got the following, okay? Question number 1 was which character from literature would Curious Grace's music kind of be paired well with? And that was Lady Gregory. Question 2, what kind of architecture, right?
Yep.
Was and that was Gaudi?
Yep.
Yes, Gaudi. And then the final question, number 3, what kind of drink? And that was stout.
Homebrewed stout.
Homebrewed stout. So imagine, if you will, you are in a Gaudi building.
Yes.
Pick which one, all right?
Colorful,
You're sitting there.
whimsical.
You're sitting there. Colorful and whimsical. You're sipping on a porter. You have Curious
Stout.
Grace, music playing in the background. And sitting with you in the living room is Lady Gregory. Okay, this is what you're picturing as we're playing the first track of the evening. Which one should we go with? Let's do the new
Let's go.
Single? Let's do the
Let's
single.
just start off with a new single, man.
Inglorious. You're listening to Inglorious by Curious Grace and Black Rabbit on.
The Underbelly hours in my basement.
town with a circus and a dark-eyed man with a big booming laugh. She never really knew how to fly that free. She stayed and prayed another rosary. Alice wondered how to make magic last. Stitch it in her pocket, a strap it to her chest, but she always understood her love would go away. Ghosted in the end by her DNA. Knew what she wanted. Love Paul bigger than Paris that night. When the boom came down, her brain began to gallop. All she wanted then was a little more light. Little more light. I got leather and latex, Tolic a scream. Call it a mirage, it don't matter to me. When Mama started ghosting, I finally could see. All she wanted to know was, are you happy? Are you happy? Are you happy? Of a Midwest snow, Patty on the radio learning to fly. An American girl heads home to say goodbye to decades, moments, and the mama she loves. Ain't love glorious, even though it hurts? The moments are the making of the magic we deserve. I'll take a piece of heaven, even living with the loss. Ain't love glorious, no matter what the cost? Ain't love glorious? Ain't love glorious? It's so glorious.
Enjoy what you're doing.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, cool. So
It's all her.
Without no, absolutely not. It's the whole team here. But
You're right. You're fired. Josh? Get in here, Josh.
What?
Oh, wait. Okay, here's a story. So Hollywood is actually named John Hickey. He's an Elmhurst guy who knows the town backward and forward. He joins a band, he decides, okay, he's in. And he realizes there are two women at the front of the band. And he's like, you're fired. You're fired. He tried to fire us both within the first week.
I had never been. I mean, all the years that I was in different bands and toured, I never was in a band with chicks. And all of a sudden, I said yes. And I got two. So I made a joke. Maybe it was my third. And I think I sent a text to Tom and said, if I'm in, first thing we need to do is fire the girls. And it was just a joke. But when Heidi heard it it didn't go over so well.
Well,
But it's been a good laugh ever since, because I think these women that we have in this band are phenomenal.
well, and when I heard it, I was like, well, I have an in with the other co-founder. I'm kind of married to him, so, you know, if you think you're going to fire me, you might want to have a chat with him first.
That's going to create awkward tensions. Well, since we're talking about the band members, though, let's... Yeah, you're all good.
For the record. On the record.
Thank you for clarifying.
My favorite color is gold.
But since we're talking about the band members, let's get into this, because if you look at the bio of Curious Grace and Black Rabbit, you'll notice that there are, first of all, lots of multi-instrumentalists in this band. Not only are there lots of multi-instrumentalists, there are also people, everyone has a nickname. So can we maybe go into that and say, like, where did these, like, how did Curious Grace and Black Rabbit start? And then how did you also develop these nicknames for each other as well?
Yeah, the nicknames, let's start with the nicknames, because that's actually the more fun. So this guy is Galway Tom. And there's a real easy reason for that one. It fits in perfect.
Yeah, I grew up in Galway, Ireland. And so one of the businesses I ran was also named after Galway. So everybody just calls me Galway Tom. So it's that, it was as basic as it gets. That's it. So I'm GT.
He's GT. And so this guy, Hollywood, had that nickname before us. You tell the story of how you got it.
I don't even remember who. I think that the guy Tim I used to work with just used to always call me Hollywood, and the band always called me Hollywood. So when I joined this group, just Mary asked one day, "What are the, you have any nicknames?" And I had a couple. And I said, "Well, whether you like it or not, a lot of people just call me Hollywood." And she's like, "Perfect." Stuck with it. And then our keyboard player, he turned it into Princess Hollywood. So it goes back and forth.
So we have two divas in this band. Mm-hmm. Neither one of them are women. The divas in the band are Hollywood, aka Princess. And so the other band members you don't see here with us today, Bojan Kolevsky is a maestro genius on the keyboards, like brilliant. So we call him Maestro, or we just call him Bo, and he's very funny. He's got a very dark, wicked sense of humor, and so
yeah, we work very well together.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Nice.
And so then you got Scott Way on drums, so we call him Scotty. He's kind of beam me up, Scotty.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Scotty. And then Heidi, the other singer, Heidi O'Toole. She is a hippie through and through. She's a love child, like a tree hugger, yoga, everything that's like, she performs barefoot half the time. Hippie Heidi is 100% her. And then I bounce around between sometimes Minnesota Mary, where I'm from, or Tall Mary, because I am, which...
Yeah.
Tall's
fun.
Tall's fun.
Yeah.
All's fun. So it all came about pretty organically, and it pretty much fits everybody.
Very
yeah, I mean, rarely does anyone ever call me John.
No. We're mad at him.
Yeah.
John, shut up!
I mean, even my guitar pick says Hollywood on it. Doesn't have
He
my
does.
Oh, that's great. I love that. That's so fun. Like, embrace the nicknames, That's amazing. That's incredible. So where did the idea for this crazy band come from? Because, look, you guys are all colorful characters, all very talented, musically, and it's got this sound, like what, we were kind of alluding to at the beginning, where it's heavy on the, drawn from, like, prog rock influences, but it's also kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
So who was the one who really decided, to get this project in motion? And can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'll kick it off, and then I think I'll turn it over to Galway Tom. So he and I have had several bands together. We've been making music together for a long time, and we had started shifting away from bands and instead creating music for online distribution. It was really just the two of us with our producer. We've been working with this great producer for, I don't know, 15 years.
Seems like it, yeah.
And then he started to get restless.
Yeah, I really miss playing live and like even writing music. I find it, we can sit and work out songs, and we can write really good songs at home, but when you get more collaboration and when you start going down all these little rabbit holes, when you come up with an idea and all these songs start, different aspects come out, and you're like, oh my God, I would have never thought of that by myself. I love that, And so being in a band, I really missed it. And then once we put this band together, Mary and I are actually we talked about it. We decided, yeah, let's go ahead and get the band. And we knew some of the players, like Heidi has been a friend of ours for quite some time. John, I knew as a friend, even though John didn't start the band with us. But as soon as I needed a guitarist after Mike, who was a great guitarist who left the band right after the first album, as soon as we needed a replacement for him, I thought of John, and I was, he happened to be available, and I didn't even tell him that we were auditioning him. And,
thanks.
And I said, could you just do me a favor and come on down, because our guitarist isn't able to make it, and we need somebody to fill in for a couple of weeks. And so he said, well, I'll come down and jam with you for a little bit, but I don't know about anything else. And the rest is history. But so, yeah, getting the band together was super important for me.
And I gotta say, so when he first said, let's start a band again, I said, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Well, we're working other things, we got other projects and jobs and all that, responsibilities, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, this is better than anything else. This is worth all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had been actually out of, I don't think I had been in a band in close to 15 years, just, constantly playing alone at home. And I never thought I'd, first of all, get another opportunity to do it. I mean, I was on the road for years, and it gets old, and you build up a band and you get your heart ripped out, time after time. And then Tom says, you want to go jam? And you know what, I'll blow the dust off a guitar and I'll come over, and sure, 2 weeks later, I'm in a band again. So I was like, all right. And so what are we, 3 years into this now?
Yeah.
Nice. Very, very
So it worked out, and I mean, I couldn't have picked a better bunch of people. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. I would have just said, no, I'll just make beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's cool is after hearing that story, I mean, I think we forget that people need creative outlets. People need some sort of something for their own form of like self-expression. And I've noticed that sometimes people get in this bad mentality that you're only allowed to do that before you have other responsibilities. You're only allowed to do that before you have a full-time career, a full-time job, before you have kids, whatever. And that's such a toxic mentality because we always need to have something that will fulfill us in some way, creatively. And I think you guys are absolutely not only doing that, and obviously it sounds like you're having a blast doing it, but because you're doing it, other people are having a blast listening to you and, kind of coming along for the ride. So really, I don't know, I just wanted to put that out there because I talked with like a musician or somebody who used to be into music at an open mic, I think like 2 weeks ago. And he was kind of lamenting of, music was such an important part of my life for years, and now I don't feel like I can do it anymore, just because he like had kids or something. Which, I mean, I understand. Listen, I don't have kids. I know that could be probably a lot of time and stuff, but like, you should always find time for the things that you love, right?
Keep you sane, at least.
Keep you sane.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like, I gotta say two things. There's a part of ourselves that only comes alive when we're making music, and in fact, when we're making music together, because like there is a music that we can create. There's this alchemy that happens that only happens in collaboration, as opposed to just sitting in a basement and playing. So there's this thing, there's keeping that alive. And I agree with you, it's toxic, this idea that you can't or you shouldn't. Right. So I always encourage people to just keep creating stuff, keep doing it. And then second, there's a line from a Macklemore song that I love. I got some words in me and I cannot let them die in me. I mean, that's true. Like, I feel that that's real for me, and music is one of the places those words go.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, it's
Mary was born with a pen in her hand. She's constantly writing down, I thought of a really good lyric line. Or what about this? And she'll write these questions down. Yeah, she is constantly, not constantly, but she amazes me at how much she loves wordplay and writing down and the meanings of what, a sentence of words actually means, And if you say it a certain way, it's really profound. And so watching Mary do that all the time, it sharpened my game up when I started writing with her, knowing that it's like I'm more of a storyteller, and I'll write a kind of a chronology type song that follows a path to tell the story, whereas Mary is much more abstract. She uses the words to define meanings and create, visions and images. And I think it's just brilliant how she does some of that stuff. So the two work together.
The speed of the amount of music that we write together, I've never been in a project anything like it. It's Tom comes in with melody lines, Boyan's got some keyboard parts, and Mary will throw some words up. And we've turned over our set lists 5-6 times in the last year.
Wow.
Just to where we tailor our set list to a venue. If we're going to bring in any of our Irish music, it would fit in certain festivals. We covered a few songs in the beginning, but we're just writing constantly, and it's hard to keep up. Looking at our set list right in front of us, and there's the notations all over it. It's crazy. And as soon as we think we have something done, Tom walks in and he's like, here's a new song. And it's every single week, there's something new to learn. It goes really fast.
That's awesome. Well, that's kind of brings me to the theory that I have, not really a theory, but just belief, I guess, philosophy that, the music and arts in general are like the great connector of the human species. Like math and the sciences, that can bring people together in an intellectual sense, but those answers you find in that, they can be discovered by anybody, really. Like eventually those things will come to light. Somebody will stumble across those discoveries, but in the arts, it's really much more of a personal and personal experience where it's like only you guys can create the music that you're creating. It's only possible because, you're writing the lyrics and he's writing these guitar parts and there's, the keyboardist there. And it's like nobody else is going to bring that sound.
Same sound, right?
That same sound. It's so integral to you guys, and it's really cool when a band like you guys, you found the right people that share that same frequency that makes it so easy for all that to come out. And that's then, I feel like, a more powerful frequency and energy that then connects with the audience and the people there. And that's a connection. And it's all just this interwoven big web of frequencies people are putting out, picking up, connecting, and it's such a cool, magical thing. So I just want to say that it's really cool to hear your guys' story and how, you're so efficient at working together, because that just, in my opinion, is proof that you guys have like this really just awesome bond through that.
It would be hard to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just sometimes when we're sitting around here for rehearsal, and you look at each individual, and you wait for the star to walk in, the John Bon Jovi or something, and it's just, I go, no, it's us.
Yeah.
And it's so weird. It's like the six of us put this out somehow.
Yeah.
There is no star in the band. It's just the band.
Yeah.
Right.
I love the way you just described all that, Dan.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah, I agree too. Yeah, I consider music just like it's one of our first energy uses that we had, that as a species, music and rhythm and it's just such an integral part of us that, from early man, music was even while we're just trying to survive on this planet, we still created music. We still had these drums and we create whistles and stuff like that. So music is such an energy force that when you get this, when we're on stage live, that experience, you can almost measure the energy, of everybody. Everybody's so excited, and just when it's all coming together, it just feels just wonderful sense of power coming at you.
Yeah,
I feel sitting in this room right now without anyone here. We're just sitting here, but this room just brings it all together.
Yeah, I mean, one of my biggest influences says that it's music is the voice of God or the voice of the universe, whatever you want to call it, because it's also found in other things in nature, like birds sing and call to each other, and there's frequencies that whales put out that are even like we can't even pick up on, and if you look at it, the breeze going through grass and trees, that can be a music,
Right.
Everything is.
Space has sound.
What?
Space has sound.
Space has sound, says
sound,
Josh,
says-
the cameraman. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, John Cage.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah. I do want to ask. I want us to kind of shift a little bit more towards the new.
Yeah. Sorry. Once I get philosophical.
No. I think this is
gloves are off. Let's go.
I think it's cool. I think right before we go back into, because I do want to bring the conversation into the new EP, and I have a question that will get us back there, but. As we're talking, I have one more thing that is in this realm.
This is why the episodes without you are always like 2 times longer.
No.
You bring us back. You bring us back on track.
No, you're good. But I do want to stay in this world for just one more second because, because I sometimes, and you guys don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but I'm curious because people can be, especially when people get older, they can start to be rude about like following passions and following hobbies. I've noticed people start to get very cynical. No.
Just saying,
No, but and you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to. But have you ever had backlash from people, because we're talking about everyone who we've noticed they connect with you very positively. We noticed at Homegrown. And everyone was feeling the sound and everything. Have you ever had backlash from people, especially when you were first starting the project, who were saying, why are you wasting your time? You're too old for this, or you're too, that kind of bullshit. And you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I'm curious. If you do want to answer, I would like to know.
We do want to answer, and you know what? No. And in fact, it's been so incredible because I work with a lot of people who are in their 20s. And they tell me all the time how excited they are to come to our shows, how inspired they are to see that we're doing this, that we're creating things and making music and making something we love, regardless of age. And so I've had nothing but positive feedback, and I'm really grateful for that.
We actually have a pretty a good sized young following at a lot of our shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with me, I found that I've got a couple of questions from people like why are you doing it? Haven't you done this already? Like, why are you doing it now? And it's easy, you know. It's like I feel the need to have to do this, and I enjoy doing it. But once I answer people, I really love telling them I love doing it, and it's kind of a sense of purpose for me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's like, well, that's kind of cool, then, you know. It's like, but the most negative response we got towards, us doing it at this time in life is what has been like, why are you doing it? It was more curiosity than like, do you expect to be rock star somewhere, And that's not what we're doing, We're doing this because we love the actual music we love, but we can't create this on our own.
Yeah.
So, I no matter how hard I try, I write these songs with Mary in our house, and then until we come here and put it with the band, it's just one of my songs.
Right.
Once it comes here, it's our song, and it's completely different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Love that.
I feel like that's a thing that is kind of just not exclusive, but more likely that fear is in younger people, like having this weird little existential crisis. That's the people that I usually hear that from, and it's usually pointed at themselves. Just in my experience, I've heard, people in like pop punk bands and stuff. It's like, oh well, I'm 25 now. I don't think like we haven't gotten that much traction. I don't know like how much longer we can do this. I'm like, what?
That's dumb.
25?
Yeah, no, that's so dumb.
Like, well, yeah, I mean...
Well, no, I specifically brought that up because
gosh.
I've come from a background of, I know a lot of people who, older people, who get very cynical about having hobbies. And then they wonder why they're always sad and cynical.
Yeah, they sound depressed as hell.
No, it's very unhealthy. So I was curious. I was just curious about that. And I can totally see why people of all ages, but especially young people, are attracted to your energy, because you guys just have fantastic energy and fusion as a band. Speaking as a band, though, you guys are talking about how much you love the music. Let's pivot to the EP. This is going to be hard, but I want you guys to answer this individually. What is your favorite song on the EP right now? If you had to choose. I know that's hard. It's like choosing your favorite kid or whatever is what people have said, but like, if you had to go with one, you don't have to answer as a collective, but each person going down the line.
Oh, you can have a favorite
I'll
kid.
go with Too Bad.
Sorry, what?
Too Bad.
Too Bad? Oh, okay. And why?
It was one of the most unique ones that we put out with, and when we went in the studio to record it, we weren't even close to being able to record it, and Tom came in and yelled at everyone and said, "Are we professionals? Pick up your stupid guitar, play the song." And Mary came in and said, "No, John's right." "Oh, did you call me John that day?" Holly was right. Holly was right. We're not ready to do it. And Tom let Mary have it. And we recorded it. On the next take, it was done. And it's brilliant.
Well, I want to adjust that a little bit because there was a day in between there.
There was a day, yeah.
We were struggling with that song the first day, and we were getting close to duking it out on whether it was going to keep going or not. Then we went home, mulled it over some more. Our producer had some ideas. Tom kept working some stuff, and it was the next day.
Cranked it out on that Sunday.
We came back the next day, and suddenly it was just like,
Boom.
There it is.
Tom scared it out of us.
Nice.
And it's a beautiful song, and it was Rich, our producer, did just a tremendous job with it, and I wasn't even sure what to expect from it until we heard it. It was probably a couple months till we heard it before it got mastered, and I was like, "That's it. That song is killer."
Nice.
And it doesn't sound. It sounds nothing like the first album. I got to say that.
And it's a perfect song for the reason why we made that specifically part of Wonderland EP, because it was perfect for the period of time that we were in. Because the song is about letting go of the life you had. Too bad.
Too bad about
Let
you.
go. Too bad. You got to let it go. And you know what? Haven't we all had to do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What about you? So Mary and then also Tom, what's your favorite? Would you guys both go then with Too Bad, or do you have different picks for?
I love Too Bad, but my song would be Bright Lights.
I was wondering.
I love the
Mm-hmm.
I love Olean's beginning, the piano entry, and then I start off with the bass, and it goes into this, this almost kind of a progressive rock kind of a jam towards the end, and what John and Bolean are doing on keys and guitars at the end, I just love. It just really winds us up really good. Anytime we really want to let go on stage, Bright Lights is one of the songs we do that too. So of the four, I love all of them songs actually. But being forced to pick a favorite, that's my favorite. Mary?
So mine would have to be Inglorious. And for two reasons. It's really deeply personal to me, that one. Because I wrote that about my mom, but then also other family members watching someone you love really just kind of sink below the waters of Alzheimer's, and they have this glorious, beautiful life, and then they just fade away. And so the meaning of it, deeply, deeply personal. And in fact, I wrote the first couple of verses to that while she was alive, and I was wrestling with a lot of that. And I wrote the third verse. Again, this was when we were in the studio, went into the studio, didn't have the third verse written initially, and my mom died. And then I was like, this really needs a third verse. And then I wrote the third verse after she had passed away already. So there's the meaning of it, but then there's a beautiful, beautiful keyboard section that opens up the beginning. The break in between is it's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, we were talking about that actually right before we called you. That's a good keyboard part.
That's a good keyboard part.
And we're gonna keep that guy.
I think you should. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got something. I don't know.
Maybe for a little bit longer. But yeah, no, that's interesting because I did feel like, I don't know, the third verse does stick out as having this really has this final impact on the song. That's like this resolution that's kind of like the embracing of the ideas that came before. And it was like, wow, that was really it was probably my favorite verse. Especially when I saw the lyrics in the video, I was like, yeah, that's some poetry right there.
That makes sense.
And then to hear how it came out, that makes so much sense.
The amazing thing about that is the musicians were doing some takes in the studio while Mary was sitting in a corner with her paper. Leave me alone. We were writing those lyrics. What are you doing? She said, I'm writing the third verse. Yeah. So we put her in an isolated corner for about 20 minutes.
Time out.
Exactly. You go to the corner.
Nice.
And we were on doing our double takes and our triple takes or whatever we needed to do, and then
Forgot that we did it on the fly.
And then Mary comes in. I think I got it. It's just brilliant.
You know what's cool about that too? I didn't want to write a third verse. And our producer said, come on, Mary, don't you? Because I was going to just do a repeat of one of the other verses.
Right.
And our producer pushed me.
Yeah.
And that's the other beauty of being in a collaborative, creative project with other people. We can push each other. Because it's too easy to just stay where you're comfortable sometimes.
Yeah.
And he pushed me, and I said, all right, I'll go in the corner.
Yeah.
Nice, very cool. Well, since we played Inglorious right at the beginning, let's not do a repeat of that. Let's maybe throw on Too Bad About You, because that had a really fun story behind it in the studio. So you're listening to Too Bad About You by Curious Grace and Black Rabbit on
The Underbelly Hours in my... I can't go lower than that.
You can
Basement.
Okay.
I'm not a bass.
10,000 miles high. I think a thought without you and I. Too many tantrums, too many scenes. We keep chasing that tail back to where we've been. Too bad the life you thought you had. Too bad the life you thought you had. I don't see rainbows anymore. Carving out a new path now, chase my own butterflies. Gonna live a new life with head lifted high. Heads up, gonna find my own flame. You're just tinder in my fire, gotta live my own way. Too bad the life you thought you had. Too bad the life you thought you had. I don't see rainbows anymore. I don't see rainbows anymore. Burn up the leaves, smolder the night. Clear cut the room, let my body ignite. I've been to hell and heaven in just one day. Get your shit out right now. Take it with and go away. Fuck you. Too bad the life you thought you had. Too bad the life you thought you had. I don't see rainbows anymore. I don't see rainbows anymore. And in my sights, the last unicorn. And in my sights, the last
You should yodel it one day. I
I don't know how to yodel.
Yeah.
I'll do some
Underbelly,
Gregorian
Do
chant.
it, Sam. You could do it.
See, you have a support system.
I'll do some throat singing,
Wait, Dan,
like in Dune.
practice your yodeling, and then we want to see you do it on stage
Oh.
at Base Camp Park, November 26th. This is your challenge.
Oh my god.
All right.
We're gonna make that happen.
You heard it here first, guys.
I'll
We're
get
gonna
some-
make that happen. Our next band rehearsal, we're gonna make that happen.
I'll get some. I'll look at some YouTube tutorials of how to yodel. Did
Wow.
you know that Jewel started out as a yodeler? The singer
Jewel? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Jewel Oscar.
No, the singer Jewel. She's like she's from Alaska,
That's crazy.
and they were like big. You know,
Big
she
yodelers?
had a band with her dad. It was like a family band. At some point, they also had to do like some yodeling gigs, I think. And so
That's pretty cool.
it was cool.
Believe it or not, Hollywood, the hard-edged rocker, he's the one who knows that.
Yeah. Big Jewel fan.
That's why they call him Princess Hollywood.
Yeah. There's the princess.
There's the princess part of Hollywood.
I tell you, we're a weird group here.
Yeah. I love it.
Oh man.
Thank you, Dad. Life story.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yodeling.
I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to segue into gigs. Yeah, because you guys are both. No, we can go back and stuff if you want to keep talking. But y'all are gonna be on a gig together.
You're pointing to me and
the TV,
the TV
which okay.
listeners.
So sorry, y'all. Those two audio listeners. I was pointing. These Dan and Curious Grace are gonna be on a bill together on Friday, November 26th, along with some other people.
Hanging Cities.
Hanging Cities.
Jackson Adams.
All right.
The Vultures.
Okay.
The Vultures are it's their first big live show.
Well,
it's their live debut.
Nice.
As a band, so that's cool.
Exciting. And where is this all happening?
Base Camp Pub.
Nice.
In Lisle, Illinois. Lisle, Illinois. I just noticed how many God, Illinois is so stupid. But,
don't shame Lyle, okay?
No, I love Lisle. My girlfriend lives in Lisle.
Okay.
But yeah, the lovely place that you probably know of as the base of Homegrown Arts and Music Festival, has been for years now. It's a lovely space, lovely stage. It's so much fun to rock out there. It's a big, nice open room, and it's gonna be a stellar night. Mostly because we got them on the bill. We got Curious Grace in the house.
Yeah.
That's what I'm most excited about.
The whole lineup that evening is awesome. So we're looking forward to playing with everybody that evening. So what time do you go on, Dan?
We'll be taking the stage at 9. So
Awesome!
we'll be 2 before you, I
We'll
think.
be bigger.
Yeah.
We'll be shouting quietly. Us singers will shout very quietly in the front row.
Oh, 100%.
We'll be throwing vinyl at you.
Yeah. I was kind of on the fence of if I should press this to vinyl, and then I looked at the delay in production that's happening right now, and I'm like, okay, no.
It's rough. It's rough.
Oh my, yes.
The vinyl shortage, or just the backup?
It's real.
Oh yeah, and then so all those prices are astronomically high right now, and then I was like, I love CDs, but does anyone else love CDs?
I love CDs.
Should I make some CDs?
I love CDs.
So I might,
I love vinyl album jackets better.
Yes.
But I love.
Same.
I'm so glad that I found a car that had a CD player in it still, because they're making those without them now.
No.
What the hell?
I'm gonna hold on to my
CDs.
Honda as long as freaking possible because it has a CD player. But no. Speaking of just the gig coming up and everything, so, Curious Grace, can y'all let us know a little bit what can people expect at the show? Will you be debuting new songs? Will you be playing your old stuff? And since we're talking about merch.
Birch. We got some merch made out of birch.
Will you guys be selling merch? Will you guys?
We're in the back working on some of that right now.
Ooh.
Birch merch.
Okay.
Birch merch?
Well, can you talk?
Sculptures, wooden sculptures made out of birch wood.
Oh my god. So, what are you guys gonna play? And also, will you guys be selling merch at this concert?
We will be bringing back some old material from World on Fire.
Ooh.
Because John's favorite color is gold.
What's your favorite color, John?
John, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is gold.
That's from the Jesus and Mary chain interview that we saw.
We're so good.
It's years and years old, but it was kind of
That was a great interview.
We have to throw that one in.
People will have to just check it out. Go find the reference in that interview when they talk about their favorite color is gold. So we're going to bring that one back from World on Fire. We're going to do the EP. We'll be doing all the songs off of the Wonderland EP.
Nice.
Actually, we are bringing back a couple of the other songs from World on Fire as well because, in fact, so one of the things that I'm excited about that we're going to do differently is we're building in kind of a more down, tempo acoustic 3-song section in the middle.
Ooh.
And there's a song that's really this beautiful atmospheric, just gorgeous melodic song called The Other Side from World on Fire, which we're going to do in that kind of acoustic section along with Gold. And then we'll be bringing on some of the new songs. We've got a couple of new ones that haven't been recorded yet that we're super excited to play live. We love these new songs.
Awesome. Woo. Great. I have to ask, because I didn't know this. Mary, you play cello?
I do.
Are you going to be playing the cello on this gig?
I'm not. You know what?
You can.
I've got a beautiful electric
I'm already playing cello
right there.
With Pino.
I have an NS Electric.
Okay.
And so I didn't pick up cello until I was 40 something, because I was trained on piano and I was playing whistle and other stuff. And he, for some weird random reason, bought a cello and a cello, and because I think he thought he was going to play, and I picked it up. And there's something about, because you play strings too, right, Adela?
I play the cello, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That feeling of having that cello body up against you and the resonance, that vibration that just goes right through your whole body.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that with the electric ones.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with them, like the looping and the sampling and the effects and all of that. But yeah, I fell in love with cello.
Yeah, we would prefer to have the cello live all the time, but our footprint is so big with the 6 of us, with the amount of gear getting up, and then if we have a full hour and a half performance, we could get Mary's rig.
Right.
Yeah.
But when we're stuck with, the House of Blues, I think we might even use it at House of Blues.
We played it. We did play it on House of Blues. I think that
and
was.
We had 45 minutes for that set, so we were able to squeeze it in. But like I said, it's a big band with a lot of moving parts.
Right.
And if we can eliminate the cello when we can, to be able to play more music.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
But we love when Mary's got the cello, and I prefer. The whole first album is full of cello.
Yeah. I was listening to that. It was good. It was good stuff. I was just curious. It does make a lot of sense. I forgot about the fact that six people on stage. I'm sure the sound guy loves you guys. Trying to figure out where everything.
Yeah, we travel with the same guy.
Nice.
Eric's been with us for a couple of years, and he's tremendous. And just when you get to have your own sound guy going, show to show with you, what a difference it makes. And we can get our sound check done really quick, having a dedicated guy like him.
Right.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's always the dream, to have your own sound guy. Just
right.
Roadies are great if you can have them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about merch? Do you guys have any merch in time for the holidays?
Grab it. Just for that.
We do have merch. We've got some really cool pink woolen hats, exactly, that are really, really fun. We'll have to bring some merch.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes. We got T-shirts. We got a really great tank top. It's not exactly the right season, but women love this tank top. It looks good. It's flattering. It's kind of got this flow to it, and the fabric is nice and soft. Nice. It's just black with the white logo or gray with the white logo. So we'll have that as well.
Cool. Nice. So if you're thinking of stocking stuffers or, interesting, fun gifts for the holidays, I'm just laying that out there, Curious Grace has some merch. Your other favorite local bands have merch. Check them out. Because look, there's gonna be shortages of like toys and all that shit anyway right now because of like the supply chain.
Yeah.
So why not buy
all your kids
local?
are gonna be disappointed anyways.
Oh my God.
You have a great hat that you're selling. I thought I saw.
Oh no, that's not my hat. That's my friend's. It's cool. Her slogan is AIP. Anything is possible.
Milo.
Yeah. No, I bought that. Which, yeah.
She's so hyped.
I know. God, whenever I just need to get out of bed in the morning, I think about
Milo just screaming
screaming. Anything is possible.
Get up.
Well, not like.
No, yeah, she's not that bad. No.
Yeah, she's not gonna slap you. Milo. I mean, she might. If you're really being a bitch, she might.
Yeah. Right. Sometimes you gotta slap her.
Dude does.
What? Oh yeah. I think she's like one of the greatest hype rappers. Like she's so optimistic, and it's fantastic.
She's a gem.
She truly is a gem. Cool. So you have a new EP out. People can listen to that on all streaming platforms. New show on the 26th. Anything else coming up just that, you know, you really want to highlight and encourage people to check out from you guys right now?
Well, we're going to be going into the studio to record, and this is a guy with vision, and so he's been working on some plans.
So actually, anybody listening, we're going to be doing a couple of videos, probably sometime after February. We're going to start shooting a couple of videos. We need participants. We need helpers, and we need anybody who wants to act. You know, we're going to need some pretty or happy faces in front of a camera. And anybody who thinks that they would like to just be part of a band project. So get on our mailing list and contact us, and then we definitely will be needing, you know, various people with various talents. So trying to put a couple of really cool events together. We don't have enough information on them yet. They're not really narrowed down enough yet. But depending on how much we can get, how fast we can get started, we'll see when it happens. But that's one of the things we're looking for: volunteers, people who want to join and be part of something fun.
Should we make some cameos, Adela?
I think we definitely should. Let's be extras. If you guys need extras, I mean, definitely down.
I want the lead role.
The lead role.
I want the lead role. I'm used to major in theater. All right.
All right, so Dan, only if you yodel on the 26th.
That's my audition.
Comes up about you getting a lead role.
All right, deal. I've done crazier things for auditions.
Oh man, yeah.
Awesome.
Cool stuff.
I
feel like I would like to, at some point, maybe not on this episode because otherwise we could add another hour. At some point, we have to invite them back.
Deep dive into the album.
I would love to do a deep dive into World on Fire.
World on Fire.
Because we love concept albums.
Yes.
They're fantastic. Big fans of concept albums. But I feel like if we start that now, it's gonna be like 4 p.m. by the time we finish.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, yeah.
You need a bonus episode.
Yeah, that one we might want to have our producer be part of that too, because there was a mind meld that went on with that one.
Ooh. Yeah. So let's invite you guys back for a deep dive on World on Fire. But apart from that, honestly, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us about your EP, about your inspirations, how you guys started the band, and all the cool stuff really that you guys have going on. And it was a pleasure.
It was so much fun. Thank you guys so much.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So be sure to follow One more time. Be sure to follow Curious Grace and Black Rabbit on social media: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, because they have a new music video for Inglorious out right now. Check it out. And they also have a website, Curious Grace and Black Rabbit, where you can sign up for a mailing list, which will inform you of all the cool things these guys have in the works. And most importantly, of course, we always say support local. So you want to go up and show up at people's concerts in person. Mark your calendars. Friday, November 26th. That's Black Friday. You're not doing anything, let's be honest.
Exactly.
All the shopping is...
Bands in town.
What?
Like, focus on bands in town as well, because that's one of those other platforms that people are using to stay abreast of what's happening with shows.
That's true.
Bands in town. That's a good one, too.
I love Bands in Town. Bands in Town's great.
Yeah.
So follow them on Bands in Town, but most importantly, show up for the live show. Show your support, and buy
rock out with us.
Buy yourself a nice fuzzy hat and a nice t-shirt for the holidays, too.
Do it! And if you don't, then I hate you.
Do it!
Oh.
And come up and say hello to us at the show, too. We do like to meet all the bands. They come and see us. We're mostly nice.
I love that answer.
Everybody's telling you to go in a corner.
Yeah.
That's
So after the show, we do love meeting our fans and stuff like that. So if you do come to the show, please feel free to say hello, and we'll gladly shake your hand and talk to you and find out a little bit more about you.
And we'll come up with a nickname for you.
Oh,
We've you're Dan Adela, so we have Dan Adela now, and we'll come up with some other nicknames.
perfect.
I like it. Yes.
That's lovely.
Awesome.
Okay.
Free Hollywood picks.
I love it. See, so many reasons to go to this show. So many
Literally,
reasons.
if you don't,
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
yeah, if you're not convinced yet, I think you're just an alien.
Yeah. And if you like to follow local music, if you, for some reason, no, just kidding. If you like to listen to local bands talk about their inspirations, if you like to see showcases of local musicians, and just want to know what's happening in the Chicagoland area artistically, follow us at the Underbelly Hours on Facebook and Instagram. We have a YouTube channel. We also have Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. And, of course, we are also featured on Aux Chicago, Aux Audio, the network, which is a Chicago-based podcasting platform. Yeah, give us a follow.
There's a lot of music out there, and you don't have time to sift through it.
We do.
And we're bringing you the best.
And I think that's a wrap, huh?
Yeah.
That's a wrap. All right, you're Dan.
You're Adela.
This has been another episode of the Underbelly Hours.
In my basement.
Shout it, eh?
So, welcome to the show.
Oh, it'll be a good time.
If you like what you hear,
Are you ready?
you can find us on Underbelly Hours,
All sorts
on all the socials, where you get your favorite local takes on the local greats.
Here it comes. Ready? Sing it with us.